How to control anger. As the story illustrates, the first step is to acknowledge and accept the emotion, to not feel guilty about it. The fact that you are angry shows that you care. The second step is to decide something positive about it. If Gandhiji had not been angry against the treatment meted out by the train track examiner in South Africa, India's and the world's history would have been different, perhaps. He channeled his anger and carved a path for himself, that of practicing non-violence. As he decided to fight for the freedom of India, despite being extremely angry, he made conscious choices instead of giving in a knee-jerk reaction to being insulted. It was this immense fortitude that whipped positive results in the long run. Eventually, India gained freedom with effort from him and many freedom fighters. Non-violence was his blowpoke, and his purpose was found in his experience of being discriminated against. Gandhiji had a large vision. He noticed that this occurrence was not limited to himself, and that he started an entire movement to save the people of his country from slavery and foreign rule. In the Mahabharata, Duryodhana finds a method to express his unsustainable anger against Bhima. Duryodhana got an iron statue of Bhima made, and every day he practiced his mace by striking it repeatedly to vent his anger. After the Mahabharata war, Dhritarashtra, the blind king and father of Duryodhana, asked for Bhima and says he had forgiven the Pandavas for everything they had done to his sons and seeks to embrace Bhima, who killed his son in an unfair duel. Krishna, knowing the depth of Dhritarashtra's anger, stops Bhima from going near the king and moves the iron statue of Bhima towards him. The blind man embraces the iron statue in a vice-like grip and crushes it to splinters. Gandhari, Dhritarashtra's wife, curses Krishna and says that, apart from unfairly killing all her sons, he made fun of her blind husband too. Krishna replies that he wanted the blind king to diffuse his latent anger as it was consuming him. I'm sure each one of you has gone through or is going through such a phase in life. It could be your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, colleague, friends, or superiors in the office who are driving you insane. When trying to look for meaning and purpose, you could start with a simple exercise or something as simple as walking, regime, or any such activity that you find fulfilling. Do that until you find your voice in doing something deeper and more meaningful, because achieving concrete and widespread results is a process. Results do not come immediately. I too started with small steps, eventually believing that Asura would become a super success someday. But once I found my passion and purpose in writing, I persisted instinctively and subconsciously. We have the right to be angry. Never let anyone make you feel guilty for it. Being angry is an indication that we care. I cared that I was facing harassment and wanted to do something about it. We cannot kill or curb anger, and any attempt to do so will bring you stress and tension. Anger is like potential energy, and your actions will turn into kinetic energy. We can only control how we express it. Not only had I faced several rejections for Asura, but I also faced a profound struggle in my early years. Some people have more interesting struggles than others. I believe such trying circumstances are always actually opportunities to stick your neck out and achieve something significant. I used to sell tawas as a salesman and have walked from door to door to get a few sales. Despite facing this struggle, I believe in my ability to write well and did not cede on an ambitious desire to succeed. With Asura, recognition and success followed. But that time, my inner life had also become much more fulfilling and meaningful as I had found my passion and purpose in writing. The key is not to back down when faced with trying times and cultivating habits of discipline, persistence, and reflection. Believe in your story, journey, dreams, and your ability to go after it. Speaking of Chanakya, he eventually figured out the right thing when he saw how the thorny bush was set on fire. It took the help of a blowpoke, but he got there because he decided to not accept defeat. By and by, he found a productive way of approaching anger. Venting his anger did not do much good until he found the right way to channel it, but it helped him stay vigorous and not succumb to his fate. Had he curbed his anger and accepted defeat, he would have accepted his destiny was to remain poor and unimportant, barely surviving, maybe as some mendicant. Perhaps the history of India would have been different then, and he would not have found any deeper meaning or purpose in his own life, too. These varied examples depict that it is always advisable to find a constructive way to channel anger for a meaningful outcome. However, if one is angry all the time, it is psychological problem. The person perceives a threat everywhere and their mind is reacting with anger as a part of its survival mechanism. That is the symptom of a nervous breakdown and requires urgent medical attention. It is important not to feel guilty about getting angry over things we care about. The qualifier is important. A sensible human will get angry for only the things they care about. I will get angry and frustrated if I'm not able to write the way I want. I will not get angry if Russia loses to Finland in ice hockey. I don't care. If we have great desire for something, it is natural to feel anger when things do not go our way. If everything happens the way you want, either you are sitting under a kalpa vriksha, the wishful tree, or you are smoking something potent. Things invariably go wrong in any project, process, or pursuit. I have often encountered myself feeling furious, especially when I was mistreated at the office. We all face similar situations in life. We will feel down, angry, frustrated. We try many things to elevate this feeling and are likely to fail. Most of us will be courageous and should be courageous when we are faced with difficult life situations. It could be the little frustrations, something as simple as a traffic jam that could get on our nerves. After this experience of learning to be aware of my mythologies and building my own resort, whenever things got rough, I went back to what I love. I consumed more books than ever. Anger is a measure of how much you love life. We rarely get angry about things in which we have no stake at all. Anger is a natural emotion wired into us. It cannot be killed or curbed, and any attempt to do so will bring you stress and tension. The passive way to deal with anger is to weather it out, accepting it as fate. The negative way is to vent it out with darts or punching bags. The smart way is to channel the anger towards something productive that is related to finding your purpose and then fulfilling the same. Therefore, if you have a gut feeling that you would like to channel these feelings, pursue it and do something worthwhile. Get your blowpoke and blow hard to flame up the fire. During the non-cooperation agitation, an angry mob in the town of Chauri Chowra torched a police station, killing many British Indian policemen. Immediately, Gandhiji called for his agitation. Other leaders said it was foolish as it would take the momentum of the freedom struggle. But Gandhiji knew that if the anger was not controlled, it would grow into wildfire and there would be widespread bloodshed and destruction. That was not his path. That was not how he wanted the agitation to proceed. His was the path of non-violence. He knew how to channel anger. He knew how to control anger has topped empires. He went back to the drawing board and trained his followers in non-violence. He was teaching the important lesson. Anger is a great tool. It is a wonderful servant, but a bad master. So it should not control us. We should control and direct our anger to achieve our goals. If one does not know how to use a tool, there is no point in blaming the tool. We often hear people saying, anger is dangerous. This is akin to saying that fire is dangerous. It is dangerous for those who do not know how to use it. Those who know how to use and channel it may even build an empire as Acharya Chanakya did. It is a good idea to have an anger diary to channel your anger and understand why you get angry. If you find yourself losing control over your anger, pause and reflect. Try to understand it without feeling guilty about it. Ask 3 questions. Why did you get angry? Or why are you still feeling angry? Analyze the reason for your anger. Is it the situation that is making you angry? Is it the person? Ask what you can do to change it. If it is a person who is making you angry, it is possible to have a one-on-one talk with them to resolve the conflict. Have you attempted it? Now, even after trying to resolve the conflict, if the person continues to irritate and anger you, ask yourself whether the problem lies with you. If you find the other person is being unreasonable, ask yourself why he or she is so. Is he using his anger as a tool to control you? Is he manipulating you? Or is it because of some misunderstanding? If conflict resolution does not yield results, put your foot down. Do not shy away from confrontation, but do not actively seek it. Most problems in life go away if we are assertive and respect ourselves. But sometimes, despite talking, all these actions, problems may persist. What then? Quiet, but with a purpose. When nothing else works, it is better to quit and find better pastures. Maybe it will take some time for you to escape the poisonous atmosphere, but channeling your anger will drive you to improve yourself, find opportunities to achieve the escape velocity required to exit your situation.